Hello, this is Matt. Today I'm going to be showing you how to import some media into the Unreal Development Kit. So the first thing when you open up the Unreal Development Kit is you get this content browser over here. So to import media, it's pretty simple. You just come down and you click Import, and then you browse to the location that your media is at. Let's see, there it is. I'm going to be importing a platformer pack, and I've gotten all the media ready, UDK ready. So I'll just search for the FBX files, static meshes, FBX. You can import them all at once. You just click the whole list there, select them all. So you can do that by holding down Shift and clicking to select all of them. But then you just click open, and you'll want to name the package something. So I'm going to name it platformer, since this is a platformer pack. And so the grouping, I'll call it meshes, because that's what I'm importing, and I'll just leave it named whatever it's named. The thing that you'll want to check down here is import materials, import textures, and create groups automatically. I keep those checked. And then just go ahead and click OK to all, and it'll take care of business. So in this pack there's actually quite a bit of media, so it takes a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end of this. Alright, I'm back. It looks like it's getting ready to finish up here anytime now. So for about the media that I imported, it looks like it's taking a little over 6 minutes. Might end up taking a little bit longer than that. But it's got to import everything, and it's got to compile shaders for all of the textures that it's importing. So it definitely takes a little while. Should be finishing up any second though. And we're done. So we immediately see down here under new packages that it says there's the platformer, and it has materials, meshes, and textures that is imported. So here's all the meshes and everything. First thing we're immediately going to want to do, so we don't have to do it again, is click Save. Right click on the package and click Save. And then it'll ask us what we want to save it as. Go ahead and do platformer and click Save, or whatever you're naming your media. And so this takes just a little bit of time too, because it compresses all of the art files. But I believe it goes fairly quickly. We'll see. Alright, well, I'm back. I think that it's getting ready to finish up here any second. So basically it had to just compress everything. It saves it as a package, so it'll end up over here now instead of under new packages. So now this is permanently saved, so anytime you start up UDK, the platformer package will be available to be able to just jump in and drop stuff in. So if we create a new map and we have the platformer, we just go to meshes. I don't think there's anything under there. We'll go to meshes, we can just drag and drop stuff right out here now. Scale it up real quick. But things are all ready to go. So just I'd have to move it up and everything. But the next step is, now that we've got everything saved, so we don't have to go through all those steps again, is you'll notice that when we go to the textures, it's only imported the diffuse maps for everything. So there's not very many textures here, right? And we know that when we get into the materials, that we'll want to be adding normal maps and specular maps and all that good stuff. So all the meshes are imported, all the diffuse textures are imported. First of all though, if we come over here, you also see that there's multiple duplicate materials for everything. So when we go to the meshes, we look at this building shack. You can right click on it and do list referenced objects. You can see which textures it's using. So this is using bark plank 001 and multiple other ones such as wood tiles, wood floor 002. And if you come over here and you go list the referenced objects, you'll see that it's also using like this similar, but it's using like bark.002, and so anytime we'd edit these materials, we'd have to edit it. So this would edit the shack, but this one would edit the small shack. So if we want to be able to edit all of the materials at once and keep everything consistent, we need a way to consolidate or to merge all of these. So a way to do that is to come up here and you click on the first one, bark plank, and you go bark plank 22, 23. It looks like this is the last one. So you go here and then you hold down shift and you click on the last one. You right click, well, click no, and then you do consolidate, and then go ahead and click yes, and then it'll ask you to choose an asset to serve as the main asset. So I don't like all these 001s and 002s and 022s, so I'm just going to choose the main one. Click consolidate assets. This will replace all the references of all the other meshes to just this single bark plank. So when we change this bark plank material, it'll change for every single mesh that references any of these other bark planks. So it looks like there's probably 23 meshes that reference different bark planks. So, okay, great, it finished. Now we just have one bark plank. Now there's bark plank small. There's a lot of these. There's 41 of them, so there's 41 meshes. So instead of having to edit it 41 times for 41 different meshes, we can consolidate that. Choose the basic one with none of the zeros. It'll replace all this stuff. Takes just a couple of moments, but you'll want to go ahead and probably do this with everything. If you have a mesh specifically that you know you want to have different properties or a different material than other ones, you can keep those or you can add those again later. But it's actually pretty helpful just to be able to edit one and have every single mesh be consistent in the level, not have them have different properties or anything. So now we just have these two, so I can just go in and edit one, edit two of those. It's quicker to just consolidate two than it is to consolidate a bunch of these. Consolidate. So that's pretty helpful, and you probably want to go through and do that for all of your media. As you can see, it would take forever to go through and edit all of these individually. So it's much quicker to just be able to go in and edit one. So once you do all that, you'll want to, right click, save. It'll take a moment. It doesn't take as long the next time to save as it did the first time. But next I'll show you how to import the normal and specular maps and everything. Okay, so everything's saved. Again, you'll want to finish going through and consolidating all of your other textures. Next, again, we had only imported all the diffuse textures, so we want to import all the other textures. So just click on the textures menu tab down over here, click import, and go to your folder, which I was already in, and then I like to just go ahead and sort it by the texture files. So in this case, I'm using all TGAs. I find it easy. I know all the diffuse are already imported, but just go ahead and select them all again. Then you don't have to go through and deselect all these. Just go ahead and click open. And again, we want it to be in the platformer package under textures, under whatever names there. I leave all the settings at the default. I go ahead and click OK to all, and you'll see that it asks you that there's a texture that already exists. Do you want to keep the existing texture settings? I just say keep all, because that's just asking about the diffuse textures, which we already have imported. I say just keep all of those settings, and it'll just import the specular, normal, and displacement maps and everything else. So keep all, and then I'll go ahead and fast forward. There's 91 of these, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. It's about to finish up. That didn't take too long. It took close to 3 minutes to do. And you'll notice that once it's done, we'll have all of our different texture maps that we could need in here. Okay, so we've got all of the diffuse, specular, We've got the height maps. We've got everything you can need. So all your media is about ready to go. The treasure. So for treasure chest, we've got the diffuse that was already imported, but now we have the height, the normal, and specular. Same for the wood beams. Height, normal, specular. Height, normal, specular. So it's all ready to go. You're ready to start editing your materials. Once you finish that, just right click on the platformer, click save. Again, this will take just a little while because it's compressing everything again. It's got to compress all the new textures. So it keeps the file size small for you. So I'll go ahead and fast forward through this. Okay, so it just finished up. Sorry I missed it. There was no progress bar there, but it took about 3 minutes or so. But now everything's saved, so we have all of our textures, all the diffused, normal, and specular textures in here. We have all of the meshes in here, and we have all of the materials in here. I need to finish consolidating all those, so I'll do that real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'm about done here. I'm just finishing up consolidating the last couple of materials here. And then we will be pretty much done. Alright, so everything's consolidated and that looks much neater. As you can see, there's only a couple of these. Anytime we edit one of these materials, it'll edit for all of the meshes. So once you finish that, go ahead and right click on platform or save again, and we're completely done. We've got all of our materials right here, nice and organized. We've got our meshes. There was like 100 something meshes, so it looks kind of unorganized, but they're all named. You can drag and drop them in here. None of them are duplicated, so it's all ready to go. You can just drop stuff in wherever. We've got all the textures. Hopefully you don't have to touch this too much except for when you're editing materials, but we've got all the diffuse, specular, height maps, and normal maps for every texture here. And now whenever we go to the materials, the only thing you really have to remember is if you edit any of these meshes here, if you edit any of them, just go ahead and right click and do save on whichever folder you edit stuff in. If you edit a material or anything, you come over here and you do some stuff in here, and you want to save the changes. You add a normal map or something. Say, come down here and add a normal map real quick. I believe this is the bark plank. So you add the normal map in real quick, and just drag and drop it in here. You save the changes. That's great, but you'll see that your materials here, it'll say, there's the little star. It says it needs to be changed. So it's changed for this session, but if you want to permanently save that change, you need to go and save the changes to the package. Otherwise it's just saved for this session. So it's important to, anytime you edit any of the materials or edit any of the textures, if you want that to be a permanent save, permanent fixture in your package, you need to make sure that you save it. And it only takes a couple moments to save it, so it's not that big of a deal. And I'll go ahead and exit UDK so that you can see when we come back to it that our package is still indeed there, and we no longer have to ever load the platform package or set it up or do any of that stuff again. It's all just will always be ready to go whenever we need it. So I'll just go ahead and click new map, get out of here, and you'll notice the platformer package is down here under the content, and everything's still organized, nice and neat. So we've got our materials and our meshes and our stack textures. I think it does something where it auto creates folders sometimes. That'll go away, but yeah, so that's how you import media. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I'll hope to make videos again in the future. Alright, talk to you later.